More goes down in the world of sports than just kicking balls, racing cars, and dunking baskets. Sometimes rather sweet moments can happen out on the field or track or course. Sometimes even romantic moments. These are the biggest flirting moments in sports. Number 15. A post-match proposal. Can a proposal truly count as a flirt? Sure, why not? Who's gonna tell me I'm wrong? Nobody. That's right. Australian cricketer Amanda Jade Wellington was used to having some good days, but this day may have just topped all others. On the very day that her team, the Adelaide Strikers, beat the Melbourne Renegades in the Women's Big Bash League, Amanda Jade Wellington got a very pleasant surprise. As she was busy celebrating her newest victory, Amanda's boyfriend, Taylor McKechnie, stepped onto the field and dropped to one knee to propose to her. That's about as unexpected as they come, right? Naturally, Amanda didn't have to think too hard about her answer and said a resounding yes, which, thank God, right? That would have been embarrassing on a whole other level for McKechnie had she decided to say no. What a whirlwind day for Amanda Jade Wellington. A big victory and a personal triumph? Who'd have thought it? If only everybody could have such a phenomenal day as this. And yes, I still consider it to be flirting, and I won't be told otherwise. Actually, if you call me out, I'll interpret that as flirting too, so thank you. Like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Now it's time for the juicy topic. The dude in this clip is Teruto Ishihara, a featherweight MMA fighter, and as you can see, he takes a little bit of time out of his busy fighting schedule to totally hit on a Filipina octagon girl. In the middle of his weigh-in, he stops to give a flirty wave, and the commentators cannot help but laugh. This is one charming guy. As always, comment down below with the hashtag #JuicyTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. Let's move on to the next one. Number 14. Sharma blows a kiss. There's nothing more romantic than the love and support of your significant other. And when your significant other is an athlete, that just means you have many opportunities to show love and support. How lucky is that, huh? In 2020, Bollywood actress Anushka Sharma was spotted cheering on her husband, cricketer Virat Kohli, during the Royal Challengers Bangalore IPL match against the Chennai Super Kings. In this match alone, Virat had a score of an unbeaten 90, which is probably really good in cricket, a sport that I had to Google twice, once to look it up and once more to make sure I wasn't punked. Anyway, Anushka was spotted blowing her husband a kiss, and the incident very quickly went viral, with many of her fans claiming this was the reason for Kohli's impressive form. And since I don't know anything about cricket, that's probably accurate. As I said, nothing is better than loving and supporting your significant other, especially when they're breaking unbelievable records in a game that is apparently not made up. I'll be honest, I'm not totally convinced about that. Number 13. Casillas and his girlfriend. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, we can make decisions that are impulsive, and sometimes those decisions can be very bad. But in this case, it's actually just kinda cute. I can't relate to that kind of impulsive decision. Just moments after her boyfriend Iker Casillas and the Spanish team managed to win the World Cup for the first time ever, TV presenter Sarah Carbonero was tasked with interviewing him. That interview, mostly nonsensical due to Casillas' athletic exhaustion, went viral almost immediately after airing on live television. But it had nothing to do with the fatigue. Actually, the interview went viral because Casillas abandoned the interview questions halfway through and planted a celebratory kiss on her lips. If you don't know they were a couple, it was probably very concerning to watch at home, but if you did know, how adorable is this? Carbonero then passed back to the studio, albeit with a noticeably red face. Still, Casillas and his team were overwhelmingly happy about the whole situation, and this viral moment definitely made a good night even better. I'd put that one on the resume. Number 12. A misplaced celebration. Here's a friendly piece of advice for, well, everybody. When you're about to indulge in your celebrations, make sure that the thing you're celebrating actually, happened. It will save you a lot of pain and will also prevent unwanted viral success. Unfortunately for soccer player Wanderson Cristaldo Farias, this advice comes too late. In a first division match that saw his team, Ludogorets, taking on Slavia Sofia, Farias managed to get what he thought was an incredible goal. Celebrating, he hurried off to the stand behind the goal, meeting his wife on the steps for a kiss. Unfortunately, when he turned around, Farias discovered that not only did his goal never happen, but the teams had continued playing without him, making him look like a total fool. I told ya, never celebrate unless you've seen it with your own eyes. Naturally, this moment of adorable flirtation went viral thanks to Farias's overly eager moment of celebration, but at least he got to show the world how much he loves his wife, right? And how much he loves goals, apparently, when they actually go in, that is. Number 11. A misguided deal. There are many ways to win a tennis match. You could be talented, for instance, or you could rig your opponent's tennis racket, or you could just manipulate the audience into coming down onto the pitch and harassing your unsuspecting opponent. Sadly, that last one is apparently more common than you'd expect. During one exhibition match, which she was losing, tennis player Kim Clijsters decided to give herself an advantage over her opponent, Janina Wickmeyer. After hiking herself up to the top of the umpire's chair, she grabbed the microphone and said, "To all the men here, the one who kisses Janina first wins that white car over there." Naturally, that kinda challenge is something men thrive on, leading a small mob of men to rush the court in an effort to kiss the young woman. It's actually kinda terrifying. Eventually, security manages to clear the court of flirtatious young men, and the match continues as planned. Apparently, it's not a good idea to dare young men to force a kiss on a young professional doing her job. What a surprise. Number 10. The Emirates introduction. Anyone that has ever taken a flight on an Emirates flight will know that the attendants, both men and women, are unusually attractive. So, who could possibly resist their charms and requests? Not this guy, that's for sure. Just moments before a big game against the Cincinnati Reds, LA Dodgers fans were treated to a brief airline safety-style demonstration on how to cheer for their team. Once the demonstration was over, Dodger legend Orel Hershister arrived to toss out the first pitch. But when one of the cabin crew/models asked him if she can be the one to throw the ball, well, who is he to say no? And you know what? Her first throw is pretty good. After making the pitch, Hershister celebrates alongside her and the other models, making for a hell of an opening demonstration. It's pretty hard to upstage a whole football team, but a group of unusually attractive women and the throwing of a ball will definitely do that. I'm sure that even Hershiser will agree with me on that one. Number 9. Nadal's proposal. If you know anything about Nadal, you'll know that he's almost always in a state of intense focus. Off the court, he's apparently a very friendly and charming guy, but on the court, he doesn't tend to be amused by much. But that doesn't stop people from trying. While playing against Ryan Sweeting in the second round of the 2011 Australian Open, 19-time Grand Slam champion Nadal experienced something he never had before: a marriage proposal. During the third set, Nadal's focus was broken by a fan shouting, "Hey Nadal, will you marry me?" I mean, how do you even respond to that? In Nadal's case, he was incredibly awkward and confused by what had just happened, but tried to cover that uncomfortable embarrassment with his polite, awkward smile. Even if the answer is no, I bet the woman was just thrilled to be able to put a smile on his notoriously intense face. Nadal is probably one of the last athletes who would gleefully respond to this kind of thing. His reputation is seriousness, intensity, professionalism above all costs. But he smiled, which suggests he's also pretty goofy, and I can get on board with that. Number 8. Zahir Khan's kisses. It's not just tennis and soccer players that warm the hearts of admiring fans. Apparently, some female fans are big into cricket players. That's a lesson that Zahir Khan, also known as Zach, learned while in the middle of a cricket match. During one of his final matches before retirement from international and first-class cricket, Zahir had his focus and concentration broken when a fan holding an "I love you" poster took all the attention. At one point, the woman blew a kiss to her crush, but there's no way she expected what came next. Zahir blew a kiss right back to her, winning over the crowd and women all over the world with his effortless charm. While this woman was probably hoping for something more akin to a marriage proposal, I'm sure she's very happy about receiving an air kiss from her crush. Given the incredible focus that sports require, it can't be easy when admiring fans disrupt things quite like this. However, Zahir handled it as well as anybody can, acknowledging it and moving on with a smile. Of course, he did sign an unspoken contract that he'd marry her, but that's for another time. Number 7. A cricket proposal. Apparently, cricket matches are now the go-to place for sports lovers to propose. Who'd have ever thought it? Apparently, the thrill of a sport they love, and the promise of TV cameras being there to pick the whole thing up is just too much to resist. At the Lords, the home of cricket, this young man decided to propose to his girlfriend during the second ODI match between India and England.
Decision pending. Here we go.
Apparently, the guy had arranged this perfect occasion with the organizers in advance, so I imagine he was content in how she would react, or he's just very brave. Thankfully, his big screen bravery paid off, as she enthusiastically said yes, surrounded by a crowd of cheering supporters. Well, let's just hope their team didn't lose the game and ruin their potentially perfect day, eh? Of course, there's no riskier marriage proposal than a public marriage proposal. These things can go south in a matter of minutes if you happen to misjudge the occasion. Thankfully, that's not the case here, and they probably went on to have a long and happy life of watching the cricket and waiting for something special. Might have set the bar too high there, guy. Number 6. Hartman's proposal. Athletes get injured all the time. It's an occupational hazard. But while that may take them out of their sport, it doesn't take them out a different kind of game, the game of life. Not the board game. Didn't think that joke through. The senior forward of the Indiana men's basketball team, Colin Hartman, may have been out thanks to a knee injury, but he decided to use his send-off speech for a more important purpose than just saying goodbye. While thanking his family, friends, fans, and coaches, Hartman decided to use this opportunity to propose to his girlfriend, Haley Daniel. This apparently was the first proposal to occur in the Indiana basketball community, which is kind of a niche fact, now that I say it out loud. Unsurprisingly, Daniel said yes almost immediately to the very idea of marrying her boyfriend, so good decision all round. Again, public proposals are very risky, but this one clearly paid off. Did the team win their match? I have no idea, but I'm choosing to believe yes. Would be one hell of a bad omen if they lost after the proposal. Number 5. An American proposal. I think it's safe to say that marriage proposals are alive and well in the sporting community, and now we get to see that even football players are getting in on the act with a sneaky little trick of their own. Ohio State Buckeyes player Drew Chrisman came up with a pretty clever little scheme to propose to his girlfriend, telling her that she and the girlfriend of a fellow player could be competing in a kicking contest at halftime.
I wanted to do it soon, and I thought this would just be a perfect opportunity. I mean, this university's done so much for me. Do it on this field.
Of course, the whole thing was fake. He had an ulterior motive the entire time, and she just fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. While Chrisman was down holding the ball for his girlfriend, he stopped her in her tracks, pulling out a ring and asking her to marry him. Clearly shocked by the sudden bait and switch, she immediately accepted, prompting Chrisman's team to storm the field in celebration. Naturally, the stadium went wild at the scene, thrilled that these two people had committed to spending the rest of their lives together. But mostly, they were just happy that she didn't say no, because, let's be honest, that would really put a downer on the whole game. Number 4. Dancing ball. Look, we all know when you're competing for some kind of trophy or award, there's no time for frivolous dancing. There's no time for jolly YMCA moves or other more recent dances. You get the job done and you move on. If you don't, you get a ball thrown at you.
Al termine dei 2 mezzi singolare, Djokovic, come vedete.
While competing at the Hopman Cup, Novak Djokovic and his tennis partner, Ana Ivanovic, were apparently on entirely different planes of existence. While Ana was focused and prepared for the challenge that would come following her serve, Djokovic was busy swagging it up, dancing his way to the line and having a generally good time for the crowd. Ana playfully throws a ball at him to get him to focus, startling him out of his funk and pleasing the crowd with their flirtatious charm. They're just like any rom-com couple, only they don't get together in the end, so sorry about that. This kind of playful flirtatious banter is like catnip to a crowd. We just love watching people playfully torment one another, even when they're supposed to be working. Well, most of the time, I don't want to see heart surgeons engaging in witty banter when they're supposed to be working. Number 3. Trenching the girl. Now, I already know that some of you will raise some questions about what you're about to see, and that's good because it's definitely a fine line between flirtatious prank and assault, and this could honestly be either. In South Africa, cricket stadiums are pretty relaxing places in which people are free to enjoy the match however they wish. However, a new trend has begun that sees people doing outrageous things in hopes of getting on TV, and that's why in 2013, this guy decided to do this.
She's got no idea. No idea it's coming. Oh no!
When this woman was enjoying the game, lying on a beach board, she was rudely interrupted by several others who asked her to go to the beach. When she refused, he returned with glasses of beer and decided to drench her with them. Yeah, theories range from this being someone she knows to a stranger, but I'm asking you, would you consider this behavior to be flirting? I think it's fair to say that this kind of behavior is not the most romantic. I mean, who the hell really wants to be sticky and smelling like a brewery, you know? Number 2. The volleyball coach. Being a professional coach isn't all sunshine and rainbows and parties. You have to look out for players, train them well enough to win matches, and yes, sometimes you have to help them stretch their muscles out, and that can be a challenging job. This video shows Lee Da-young and her coach between rounds and provides a glimpse at what some people have called flirtation between them. The footage shows Lee Da-young changing into her volleyball outfit before her coach helps stretch her legs out in advance of the big game. Apparently, to some, their bond and these actions are a classic telltale mark of a classic flirtation, but I'll let you be the judge of that one. After all, I'm not an expert in the field of moving women's legs like I'm pumping water. I have no doubt that Lee Da-young did well in her game after this thorough and kinda painful looking warm-up, but was this a demonstration of flirtation? I still have absolutely no idea, but I've never tried this flirting technique. Then again, my flirting technique is sharing my cookies, so I have a lot to learn. Number 1. The Australian proposal. Yes, we're back with yet another cricket proposal, and of course it's charming and moving, and I don't really know what else I can possibly say about that. Let's just watch it, and you'll see how this unique pairing bridges the gap between sports fans. During the second ODI match between India and Australia, this man, wearing an Indian jersey, decided he would use the occasion to propose to his girlfriend wearing an Australian jersey. You can see now the problem. It's a Romeo and Juliet situation.
Here we go. Please say yes. Please say yes.
They support opposing teams. Thankfully, that's apparently not a problem, as she, of course, accepted his proposal with an enthusiastic yes, and apparently even the crowd didn't seem to care about their Romeo and Juliet-like troubles. Everyone in the stadium was happy to support this relationship, which obviously has some sporting complications. Hopefully this marriage ends in a much happier way than Romeo and Juliet. I mean, it's just a team difference, right? How much damage could that cause? You know what, I'm gonna insist that they're still together because love conquers all, unless you're in a Shakespearean play, in which case poison conquers all. Which of these flirtatious moments surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.